right, local quarterback Lima Beans. Kerry Eggers is reporting, and I don't know, is Kerry independent now? Is he with? Because he used to be with the Tribune, but I don't even know
where Kerry Eggers is at anymore.
How come you don't know that? Aren't you a sports guy?
Yeah. Do you know that?
Well, I just asked you.
Well, shouldn't I? But
no one expects anything from me.
I'm turning that back around on you. Yeah, KerryEggers.com.
Oh, so not with the Tribune.
Doesn't appear so. Hence, Kerry Eggers.
Good. I'd leave that.
.com.
I'd leave that rag anyway.
It says right here, never miss a story from the dean of Portland sports.
He is the dean of Portland sports.
Yeah.
That guy knows a lot of stuff.
Kerry's a good dude, too.
And he's been around a long time.
But he's is
the Trib still around? Is that a thing? I don't see it on the streets anymore.
Maybe. Well, he's in a source off right now with the great and curly-haired Nick Daschel.
Yeah, so Eggers says that Ben Goldbranson is the likely starter for the Oregon State Beavers' first game against Idaho State.
Yeah.
And that probably gives Beaver fans...
well, they weren't happy about it.
Yeah,
if you read through the comments...
Well, we've seen enough of him. It's like...
Well, yeah.
He's not... Well, I want to be nice. Like, I don't know who this other kid is, Johnson, but...
So he's the kid that's the transfer from Missouri. And then they've got McCoy, who's the transfer from Idaho. So if you want to go down the road of what you've got Johnson, who appears to be the report is that he's kind of an athletic guy that doesn't throw the ball real well, but was a decent sized recruit, went to Missouri and again, never really played, redshirted. And so you have that. You've got Goldbranson, who's more of the steady Eddie, you know what you have, been there obviously, but we've seen it. It's not fantastic. And then McCoy's the bit of the wild card because he was
in there.
He was the Idaho quarterback.
I'm going to report that he's the quarterback.
Well, I mean, but you got to take. This is where I thought the source off was a little silly.
So what's Daschel saying?
Well, if you listen to what Eggers said, he's saying that more than likely it's going to be a Goldbranson, but the others are going to play too.
Yeah.
Basically, what that means is no one has a grasp on this, and if no one has a grasp on it, you start with, the guy that's been there and that probably has a better command of the offense that you trust, and other people are going to get some work, and whoever grabs that job and runs with it. And then Daschel's reporting that a source close to him inside the program says that it's absolutely false and says that no decision has been made. But
well, he didn't say there was a decision.
That was my whole thing. So there's like this source off, but no one's saying
he didn't say that. He people need to pay attention to the words that journalists use. They use them for a reason.
Yes.
And what Kerry said was, likely starter is Ben Goldbranson.
Yes.
That does not say that it's been decided.
No.
He just said likely.
So,
God.
I'll say this. 5 weeks into this season, Goldbranson will not be the quarterback. And I don't know who it's going to be, but I bet you see all three within the first, because what do they got out of the gate? What, Idaho State? And then San Diego State, and then Oregon.
Ooh. Oregon's supposed to be pretty good this year.
I hear that. By the time the Oregon game is over, you will have seen big hunks of all three quarterbacks. So does it really matter, in all honesty, who the hell is the starter? Let me also point out that Oregon State at one point, they benched their starting quarterback in the middle of the first game against Sacramento State, for God's sakes.
They did?
Yes. You remember that?
No.
They lost to Sacramento State. That happens all the time. My first year at BYU, our starting quarterback was Paul Shoemaker? Shoemaker was his last name. I don't remember. We played UW, and middle of the second quarter, old Shuey took a CD on the bench, and we never saw him again. And it was like, hey, this other kid, you're going to go. I mean, this happens all the time. So the fact that no one has been announced means that you don't have a starting quarterback. Everything I've heard down there is no one's running away with this thing. I guess Goldbranson's thrown some picks in practice, but, it's practice. It's just everyone just deep breath, patience, and through the first couple weeks of the season, this will sort itself out because one guy, you hope, will take his opportunity. He'll run with this. He'll look better in a game, and they'll give him the reins, and he'll go. So
now, do they have a strong run game and offensive line like they did last year?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, boy.
No. But Joshua Gray came back. He's probably he's not probably. He is the best player, and I'm actually a little surprised because, dude, Joshua Gray is a really good player, and for everyone else that left, he stuck around. So give him credit, but it's an all-new team.
Do they win 5 games?
Their schedule is pretty soft. So, yeah, Yeah, I think
You think so?
I think they can be all right.
Okay.
You know, I think that
Alright.
it's such an unknown because we don't know anything about Trent Bray. You know, it's a new coaching staff, and most of your how do I put this? Most of your top end talent left. So we're now, you know, and it's not like, you know, everyone you were recruiting was Pac-12 talent. So the roster is still full. The people that were there are still for the most part better recruits than the other teams that you're playing on your schedule. So if you're Oregon State, I mean, with the exception of probably Oregon, I don't think there's anyone that you look at and say, you know, we can't physically compete with them. I mean, so you got Idaho State, San Diego State, Oregon. Oregon's going to be bad. And then you got Purdue. Purdue was bad last year. Colorado State, Nevada, UNLV, Cal, San Jose State, Air Force, Washington State, Boise State. Those are all teams that you would hope that from a physical standpoint that you don't get overwhelmed by. So then it just
Well, there's a
comes
difference
down
between being overwhelmed and winning.
well, I you know,
Come on, man.
you asked me, do they win 5 games?
And you say yes.
Yes, I
Okay.
say they win 5 games.
Well, they do. The fans down there get a little treat with Oregon and then Purdue. That'd be
yeah, I just
decent back-to-back home games
I'm scared for the Oregon game.
in September,
I'm scared.
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
that's not a bad. If you've got tickets, it's like, oh,
yeah.
it's not bad.
Well, and
One of those is winnable.
yes, and then you know, so your home slate, Oregon, Purdue,
Well,
Colorado
they have
State.
Idaho State first,
Oh well, that just
and no one likes those games. But
No
you know,
one.
that's a win.
You got Idaho State, Oregon at home, Purdue at home, Colorado State at home,
UNLV
UNLV at home, San Jose State at home,
and Washington
Washington State at home. So you know,
Like I said, those 2 games, Oregon, Purdue, back-to-back, September 14th, September 21. It's not a bad little.
yeah. So I mean, I've seen some Beaver fans that are fired up and think that this is like an 11-win team, and I would be like, ooh,
What?
yeah.
Where on earth would they get that?
It's
Maybe just schedule.
Well, exactly. It's just the idea of we're better
All
than
right.
these teams. But I think realistically, like if I'm a Beaver fan, and you told me right now, I'll give you 8 wins.
Whoa!
I'll give you 8.
What if I give you 6? You taking that? 8's. I mean, everybody's
No,
taking 8.
I would take 7.
Okay, we're gonna settle on 7.
I'll take 7.
I would take that too.
I'll take
But
7.
would you take 6?
I don't think so. I think I'll roll the dice.
All right, so you're going. What's the over/under? Do we know? What's Vegas think?
I'd have to look and
Or
see.
the
what,
odds
I'd
maker?
have to look and see what Vegas has.
Why don't you
on
take a
that.
look at that, will you?
But I look at Idaho State should be a win. San Diego State, Colorado State, UNLV. I mean, San Jose State. Those should be wins. I don't care what. I understand that a lot of your top end talent left, but my God,
Well,
like you're
see.
still a Pac-12 roster.
All right.
Those are wins.
The other local quarterback Lima Bean nuggy here is that Sam Levitt held off Jeff Sims, the Nebraska transfer,
Yeah.
and he wins the job at Arizona State. So Sam Levitt is the kid who led West Lynn to the state title.
Yeah.
And then he was pissed off because Jonathan Smith never offered him at Oregon State.
Yeah.
So he was at Michigan State. Jonathan Smith goes to Michigan State, and he's like, I'm out of here. F you.
Deuces.
I can't stand you.
Well, and chances are he wasn't going to win that job anyways. That was Child's job. So
Right.
No,
Well,
it's-
but he says he holds grudges. So watch out. I don't know if it's against Oregon State or probably more against Jonathan Smith,
yeah.
but he's going to be the quarterback at Arizona
I hate
State.
to say this, but I doubt Arizona State ever sees Michigan State. So
Well, you never know. Maybe in the college football playoff.
there you go.
I'm seeing over under 7.5 for the Beavs.
Okay.
All right, so it's right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little higher than I thought.
Yeah. But again, schedule wise, I mean, look, it's not everyone left Oregon State. If Bray is a competent coach, you know, you have a better roster than San Jose State and UNLV and Nevada and Colorado State and San Diego State and Idaho State. I mean, just those schools alone, those should all be wins. And then I think the Oregon is the only game that I would look at and say that's going to get ugly is Oregon. Oregon will pound you. Other than that,
They should.
they should.
But you never know.
No, I know. Outside of that, I don't. I think
All right.
all those other games are coin flip games.